Welcome back. Still around the 6150 mark on the Nifty. But this is a time where we address all our personal finance query. Harsh Roongta of Apnapaisa.com is our expert for the day. Hi Harsh, thanks so much for joining us. Let me straight away go across to the caller who's waiting by. It's Meher who's joining us on the phone line from Mumbai. Hi Meher, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Actually, my question was, can you explain me the concept of an emergency fund and why is it needed?
Okay, and also could you tell her how much should one keep aside as an emergency fund?
I think that's an excellent question. Why do you need an emergency fund? I think
because you have ATMs these days.
You have ATMs these days, yes, but the ATM serves you only if there is money
Cash
in the bank, right? And I think keeping an emergency fund equivalent to 3 to 6 months, basically for emergencies such as a job loss or a business difference. It's not clear what Meher is, whether she is salaried or self-employed, but there could be, for salaried obviously, a job loss situation. For the self-employed, there could be fluctuations in your business income. You need an emergency fund so that your day-to-day monthly expenditure, EMIs, you don't want your credit to be spoiled, all this is needed. Ideally 6 months, but depending on the stability, if you are in a government job, maybe less. If you, or I mean, more stable the job or the income situation, less. But ideally 6 months of expenses.
So that 6 months of expenses would be kept how? In easily liquefiable instruments?
Absolutely.
Like an FD?
Cash or cash-like. So I mean, essentially what you would do is either keep it in these fancy FDs that come linked with savings accounts so that they remain in an FD, but you can write a check and withdraw, or separately identified liquid or ultra short-term funds which you can withdraw on a moment's notice.
And the expenses should also, everyone should remember to include the EMIs also in it, and not just your daily operating.
Not just your EMIs, also insurance premium. So you want to continue your insurance. You don't want it to lapse during the time that your job is not there.
Okay, Meher, we stood in for you and asked your supplementary question, so I hope you're fully answered. We have to get to the next caller. Actually, the caller has sent an SMS. This comes from Roshan Singh, who writes to us from Pune. He wants to know if it is a good idea to invest in a combination of index and sectoral funds, or simply invest in diversified funds for the best returns.
I think the right answer to that is, if you keep index funds out of it, I mean the right answer to that is index in good performing funds, but I think that's the lighter side. When he means index funds, he is really talking about large cap indexes such as a Nifty fund or a Sensex fund.
Nifty Bs.
Okay, one of the big advantages of the index fund, and worldwide why it has caught on, especially in the US, is that it takes away the fund manager's bias. You are not dependent on a fund manager's performance. You are investing in the broader market. So I think that is, so if you don't want to take relative risk on the fund manager, but yet you want to say bet on the larger market, then you can go for a large cap fund. If you want to take, for example, a bet on the mid cap market, you can go for the Nifty Junior Bs, and such kind of index funds are available. In India though, the top quartile funds in the class, so if you look at the large cap top quartile funds, they have easily beaten the index funds. So therefore, if you want higher returns, you have to take the higher risk. As long as you choose the right funds, you choose the top quartile, keep tracking it, reviewing it. If some fund has slipped, change over. As long as you do that, at least in the Indian context, the actual funds, the large cap funds, for example, in relation to the large cap index, has done better. And the other, so I think that really is the main thing.
All right. Thank you very much, Harsh, for joining us with those details. Unfortunately, out of time, we'll have to wrap up markets and macros on that note. Business lunch in a minute.
MCX Stock Exchange, India's new stock exchange, presents Markets and Macros.